And hello and welcome to this channel. I hope it's a return visit. Well, check this out. This is what I'm doing. Even though at the end of this video, the one that I will be finally doing throughout this video is going to look a slight bit different, but bear with me, I think you like it. I just created a kit inspired by a trip to the grocery store.
When I saw the cover of the autumn issue of Better Homes and Gardens, which
pictured a Halloween table centerpiece. I'll pop that picture up on here as well so you can see what I was looking at. However, as I examined it, I soon realized that it was actually a two-tier cake and not a flat centerpiece. And I did this one on an oval. So I said, oh well, I like the idea of the centerpiece, and that is what we're doing today. Oh, and since you're here, let's play a little game. Throughout this video, there will be a series of smiley faces popping up here and there. Count them up and email me at bowminis@gmail.com. I'll put that in the content description below, and you'll see it up here as well. So email me with the number of smiley faces you see, and I will email you back a free PDF or SVG file for your cutter. PDF, you'll have to cut it yourself. These are tiny little bits, but the SVG, if you have a cutter like the Cricut, which is what I've been using, you can make one for your own. Now, let's have some fun and get started. What you see here is the actual pieces for the kit. It looks like a lot, but it's intricate, and as you can see, there are lots of little bits and pieces here, and I figure the more you have, the nicer this centerpiece will look. I'll show you another mat that I've prepared. I'm working on a Cricut mat, lightweight, because it keeps these bits down nicely, but I won't be painting on here, obviously. There's not much to paint, as you can see, because these have been printed already with the colors that I want to use, unless you want to go ahead and do some painting. I have a hard time painting these tiny little things, so I won't be painting. I've done it so that it prints out a file that's already painted. I have another one here, another one on another mat, because I've gone through a series of tests. See, this is how it will print. The file will print. So you have the base. Sorry, here we go. Shaky bits. So you have a base, you have the inserts, and you have the trim, and it comes on these little bits, and then when you remove it, you have the trims, and these bits are not going to be used, but you can use it for something else. Maybe throughout this video you'll get some ideas you can use it for something else. Here's another one. Sorry. And here's another sample that I have printed. So the reason I've done these in samples like this is because in order for this not to be so long, so lengthy, this video, I thought I would do a variety of, remember like in the old days, by the magic of TV, you have a cake done in 10 minutes. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, so we don't spend a lot of time. Just enough, but not too much. So the first thing you're going to do is when you have this kit, I'm going to bring this one back up again. When you have this kit printed up, you're going to remove the bits, the inserts, like so. Okay, this is the way it's come up, right, like that. You're going to remove the inserts, and you have all your rims. So now what we're going to do, so maybe we'll find a project for all these little bits. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what I've done to all of the frames, I guess. Now, what this is, I should have explained this to begin with. What this is, it's supposed to be flooded gingerbread, decorated gingerbread cookies. So by flooded, I mean where you have the gingerbread cookie, and you have piped the trims and then flooded it on the inside with with the icing. So these are supposed to be iced cookies. And the reason it's this brown when I print it on this chipboard, the reason it's this brown is to give you the feeling of gingerbread without having to paint. So I've already printed it on the brown chipboard. Actually, it's kind of like a very very heavy cardstock, but it's that brown. And people that have Cricut, this is what you play with most of the time, and you make layers and the layers will give you different thicknesses. So that's what I'm going for. I'll give you a close-up. See, there you go. So the cookies will be iced, and then with the insert will go in, and you ice it some more to give you the flooded icing cookie. Okay, so here's the first one. I've numbered it 1. Here's the first one. That is actually this one. Okay, let's see, that one. So I take out the trim. This we discard, we don't need, or you can use it for a different project afterwards. Paint it and do some other kind of cookies. And if you like painting, well, go for it. It's very tricky for me. Get some Mod Podge. Now, I understand that Mod Podge has a dimensional Mod Podge, but I don't have that right now. So I'm just going to use what I have. And what I have is a tiny brush. And I'm going to go in to the Mod Podge. Let's see if I can put that there or here. I'm going to go into the Mod Podge, and we're going to do this to all of the frames. I'm going to take it and put it on a tweezer, and I'm going to drop generously drop some of the Mod Podge on here. Let's see, can you see it? So that now you have created a little dimension all along. Now, as you get closer to where the tweezers are, you can put it down and just, what I did was I waited for it to dry a little bit, and once it dried, I was able to pick up with the tweezers on a different section, and then apply the Mod Podge onto that section of the frame. We're going to call it a frame. So if it's here, I can actually go in and try to do that now, just being careful that it doesn't stick onto your tape. And if you do use tape, don't leave it in there for too long, because it will make it harder for you to remove it. So here's the bit. Once you have that little bit, you know what? I'm going to put it here on this nice little pink strip of foam and lie it there, because I know it won't stick on there. And you're going to do that for the entire, for all of the frames, and there are 9. You can do it with less, but I've done it with 9. This bit, you don't do a thing to it. This is going to be your base for these. And then you have these. So this step, you're going to do the same thing. You have the insert. And again, I'm going to take the insert from here. Okay. Take the insert. Now, these have not been prepared. I'm going to step recording, and then prepare them as well. And we're going to dab some of the Mod Podge on there as well. And when this dries, as you know, if you work with Mod Podge, it'll dry clear, and you'll see the color underneath. So for now, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to do that for all of them. And again, you're going to rest it. And this is going to be your number 1 piece. This is the insert for that. Now keep these matched up, because they're tiny, and some of them look pretty close to the other ones. I didn't want them all to be the same, because it was nice to have variety, but you can't really expand the sizing too much, because then it becomes out of scale. So this is 12 scale, right? So there you go. And we're going to do that for the rest of these pieces. So don't forget, you're going to brush, paint over, Mod Podge these pieces, and you're going to Mod Podge all the inside pieces for the houses. These pieces down here are some moons and things. You're going to do the same thing to it. But these were not printed with individual frames because it was just too tiny. The whole thing will just take a coat of Mod Podge like that. So let's see, like this. I'm going to dab in there. And you can do that again once you have it in place. And there are two of each one of these, and you'll see why I made two. And this is going to go here, and you're going to do that for all of the other pieces. Okay, so while that's drying a little bit, let me tell you about the rest of the kit. There is a base, and the base is made up of 3 ovals. 1, 2 the same, and the third one is smaller, and that is to give you a little bit of a step up, like you see here, which I've highlighted by just I painted it black, and then when I sanded it off, it made that highlight. But you don't have to have a highlight. You can do that with just painting roughly around the edges of the oval. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to apply a generous amount, but not too much, of glue onto one of the sides. So this is just my ordinary wood glue that I use, my tight bond. Pinch these nice and tight because I'm going to put the top layer on it, and the top layer is slightly smaller, so I'm going to center that. So I will put glue onto the little smaller bit, and it's important that you put it on the edge. So that, and now I'm going to turn it over, center it as nicely as you can, as closely as you can, and boom, boom, and there you go. So these here will all be done. Oh, and this is a little shape that will be a tree that will go in the center. That's this in here. Can I show you this? That's this bit in here where the moon and the ghost and the bat. So I have moons, ghosts, bats, cats, stars. That's all in here. And you can use all of the bits, or you can just, just use the ones that you prefer. So let's stop here. I'm going to finish these off and come back to you when all of the Mod Podge has been applied. Okay, so I've gone away and did all my dabbing of the Mod Podge onto the various pieces, and here they all are. Let me take this apart here. And when I say dab, I mean drop, like you're actually dropping Mod Podge and not brushing, because if you brush, whoops, tiny little bit, if you brush, you're going to get flat. So you want to dab it and drop the drops, I don't know if you can see here, and then you get a little bit of a dimension. Okay, so, and then what I've tried to do, and it's really important, is to, as you do them, to keep them on top of each other, because of like the same little group together, so that you can easily fit, especially these little guys that are all about the same size. So I've done that with the pumpkins, with everything else. And here's the little round that is now nicely glued, and the tree, which we'll talk about in a little while. I also wanted to share with you my thought process. Here's what I began with when I was thinking what I wanted to do. So just one layer of cardstock that I printed. I go, oh, okay, well, too big, obviously, and then from there on, it became this. Okay, so let's continue. What we're going to do next is glue all 3 parts together. So you're going to glue the base, and the next thing you're going to glue will be the trim, which is the icing outline. Okay, like this. I need to anchor my arms. Okay, and then the inside, the insert, which will go in there. So that's what you're going to do. I'm going to do one, and then I'm going to do the rest and come back to you with them all finished. So here's what we're going to do. Some white glue. I think I'm going to just shift this over a little bit so I can work on it here. And okay, let's see here. Or can you see me? Right here. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to dab some glue onto the back of the icing, the one that has not been dabbed with the Mod Podge, and then you're going to put a little bit of glue. It doesn't require much because this is card and it's paper, and this time I'm using my teeny weeny let's see, glue applicator because I don't require that much of a strength in glue. Here you go, like that, all the way around, just like painting it with the Mod Podge, but this time you're using glue. I'm gonna hit that corner a little bit, and you're going to take the matching piece. Now these have a top and a bottom side. When you cut them, the bottom side usually has a little bit of a rough edge, so if it's coming off of the Cricut or the Silhouette or whatever cutter you're using, make sure you keep the top always on top when you get it out of your paper. So here, and matches identically like that, and there it is. And now you're going to put glue onto, where are we here? I'm going to move some of this aside so we can work on it here. Sorry, I changed mats because the other one is now being used with something else. And I'm going to put some glue onto the back of the insert. Let's see if that, just the back side, the unpainted side of the insert. Doesn't require much. And I'm going to take my tweezers and take the piece that I just framed or iced. Fresh icing, sugar. Okay, and now it's going to go on top of the gingerbread. There it is. And I like it showing the bit of the cookie behind, because then it gives it a little bit more of a dimensional and a feel of it being an iced cookie, right? Okay, these are standing up. Now, once you've glued this on, if you feel you don't have enough dimension, you can hit it again with a little bit more Mod Podge. But I would be careful not to put any Mod Podge on the brown bit, because that's showing the gingerbread cookie on the back. So there you go. I'm gonna do that for the rest of them, for all of them. Be right back. As I'm working along here, I thought I'd also tell you that you may find it easier to apply the glue to the base, like so. Just a very thin bit of glue onto the very, very edge, just enough to adhere the little frame, and hold it down because it will want to go away. And then apply your frame on top. This one's got a little bit of a little glue running out here, or Mod Podge running out. So, if you don't want to deal with this, you be a little extra careful, but I was rushing through it. And then this will go, oh, got a little bit more there. It's okay that it's not perfect, but it can't be sloppy all the time. So I'll just take that out. The other thing I was wanting to share with you is if you get the file and it's a print and cut file, you may need to calibrate your machine, because I found that my machine needed calibrating, lining up the lines, etc. Just like as on a printer, sometimes you have to do that, because my my images were not cutting properly. They were cutting outside the line, even though I do use the bleed factor, which bleeds color outside of the actual print. That allows you for a little more room to play with. So I'm going along here, and let's keep on going. One more little note. All the bats and hats and ghosts, they're all printed twice. And they're kind of reverse, so that they get to be glued back to back, because this is supposed to be a centerpiece and it's seen all around. So you just glue your two moons back to back, and then you have an image that's good on both sides. And they're not printed on the gingerbread because it's supposed to be printed or showing on both sides, so you don't really need to know what's between them. Okay, so there you go. And that's the little hat, and I'm ready to assemble this. Okay, time to assemble. Before I do, don't be shy if you have to trim your pieces. If you didn't quite align them, just take your shears, your scissors, and trim off some of the white if the white is the bad part, or some of the brown if the gingerbread didn't bake quite right. Let's just put it that way. So like I've got this one here that really needed a little help, and so just trimming it up, and so that it's a little neater. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect because it is supposed to be something homemade, but here it is. So now we have all our pieces together, and they've all been laminated together or glued. One more thing on the pumpkins, if you want to get totally creative, you could draw out some white lines in the center, but it would have been too little for cutting, and some, you know, if you're going to have to be cutting this by hand, it's quite tiny, so you can just paint that in, as well as some of the stalks on the pumpkins didn't want to print quite right, so just paint that in, the little white stalk on it, and now we're ready to go. The base has been assembled, and here it is. Now this is the tree, and the tree was printed extra long, and that is so that we could fold it. And then once it's folded, it gives you a better base to plop it into the center of your base like this. Okay, so get some handy dandy glue. I'm going to get my nice thick one so that it glues quickly, and put it onto the base. This will give you the height that you want. If you want to omit this altogether, by all means, it would be your choice. But this is how I've made mine. So it's about the same height, maybe a little bit higher than the other one, a little bit more elegant. And then you just start building around. I start off with the biggest piece, sort of anchored into the back. And for that, there's enough base here to give you enough grip. What you may want to do is flatten it a little bit on sanding, just a little sanding stick, nail file, I guess some of us would know. So now it widens the base for accepting the glue. You might want to do that on all of them, and I found that it adhered quite nicely. But once you put this in, don't start fiddling around with it too much. So I'm going to anchor this one right there, and sort of semi-lean it like that. So I'm going to go around and just put all my pieces in. I like to start with the tallest one so as to anchor the basic shape. Here's another one, and I'm going to turn it around and put it on this side. Don't put too much glue because then it'll take too long for it to set. And if you prefer, give it a little bit of time. You want to use crazy glue. That's something I'm a little bit familiar with recently. Long story. But I prefer not to use crazy glue at this moment. So just pop it in there and just press it down a little bit so that the paper takes hold. So that's the start, and I'll come back and I'll continue putting these bits together. Okay, so that's the start. I'll continue putting these bits together. You know, the glue that's on the residue here won't show once all the pieces are in. Okay, so it's finished. This is the one I started with. I guess you could say it was my prototype. And this is the one that I did today. The colors are deeper and the detail is a little bit more refined. So this is the one that will be the kit. If you wish to purchase, it will be on the website. Or if you get a chance to review this whole entire video and you send me the correct answer for how many smiley faces, you're going to get a free PDF. Or an SVG file so you can cut your own. Otherwise, you can get the kit, and you probably can also buy the finished one when I get to making more. So here it is. I hope that you enjoyed this little project. Oh, and as I was putting this together, I was thinking that there might be a project in the very near future with all of these little cutouts. So hit the like if you liked it, leave comments. Of course, to get your free SVG or your PDF, send me an email with the correct number of smiley faces. And if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell to get notifications and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.